one thing that's definitely a decent story nowadays is for those who are watching Last of Us, it's been a roller coaster. And I mean, again, some of us played the game, some of us didn't. I do believe that those of us that played the game are at an advantage because we are already familiar with the atrocities that lie ahead in this apocalyptic realm. But not much to say about this most recent episode. I figure we could touch on it a little bit before we move on, and maybe a little bit of Andor, and then maybe a couple other things. But this most recent episode, I will say, we did finally start to see Ellie leave the plantation, so to speak. I ain't gonna call it a plantation. Leave the city. All right. And I think this was the definition of a filler episode to an extent. Am I tripping? It was literally filler. There was like no action. There was nothing. We learned stuff we didn't need to learn. All right. They're bringing character arcs in that are good for good writing, but are not necessarily moving the story forward that much. Like, for instance, when old boy the bigot came to the defense of Ellie, we're like, oh, okay, that's cool, but it really has. I mean, other than a good feeling in the heart, it doesn't move the story forward, right? I mean, what? Anybody have any opinion about this most recent episode of Last of Us? If not, we'll move right ahead because shit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I mean, your expectation for them to just move the story like Joel didn't just get grizzly fucked in the last episode. Like that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, this was the type of episode that you expected it to be. You expected everybody. Yeah, you expected everybody to be on this emotional roller coaster of feelings and they lost. Like you don't just get over loss. Like Joel was an intricate part of this show, and he's leaving behind a brother, a fake daughter, like all you know what I'm saying, like in a town full of people who have grown to love and depend on him. So you expected this episode to be exactly what it is. What is Ellie? Everybody was like, I know, like everybody's expectation is, what is Ellie gonna do? Like we know that she's, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like we know that she is about to go ham. Like it's not a question. It's just of when and where and how. And I think that was kind of what was established in this episode. One of the biggest things that I took away from this episode was the comments of the therapist when she was talking to Tommy. When she was talking to Tommy, she said, "Yo, some people you just can't help. You just can't save. They're just like they are who they are." And she says that Ellie is a liar and like a firecracker. Like she's like that. She's like this. People lie. No. She's a liar. Nah, she's not lying. She's a liar. Like, and there's a lot of like this lady seems to be the guru in the town of when it comes to stuff and people trying to get over on her. She told Joel straight to his face, "You keeping something from me, and I know you bring me this trash ass bag of weed, and then you gonna lie to me. Then you gonna sit here and just lie to my face like I'm stupid. It was bad enough that you brought me this trash weed and you killed my husband. So like there's a lot of shit going on. Like, but I like her character because she's the one person that's gonna keep it real in a world of people living, in nightmares and dreams. So this is I think I love her character actually. I think she's dope. But this episode was exactly what I expected it to be. I expected it to be, everybody kind of getting, their town just got attacked, and almost destroyed. A large portion of their community is either in critical condition or in like a real bad state. They showed the hospital situation, so they're all disoriented right now. So I didn't expect this episode to be nothing but what it was. And I think the biggest takeaway, like I said, was the fact that we know that Ellie is a psychopath. She's a fucking psychopath at this point. And we also know that she has no problem getting everybody killed. So after seeing the end of the episode, Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, all right.
What do you mean?
She wanted to go into that building, but I don't know if she wants to get everybody killed.
Like, no. She absolutely has. She's no. See, this is what you're not. You're looking at the surface. I'll take you a little deeper. What I'm saying is, we are in an apocalyptic era where there are creatures out here that can kill us at any given time, and now we know that they're moving in a strategic way that they never ever moved before. So what does she do? She takes and decides to go take old girl and go after the wolves by herself. What wolves? I mean, it's wolves when it's multiple. But anyway. Anyway, yeah. So she's going after the wolves. She's going after them, and she has no indication of how many there are, what type of weaponry they have, or any of that. So by default, she's getting everybody killed because Tommy is her uncle by default. So if she doesn't come back, what does that mean? That means they have to go after her. So when they go after her, what does that mean? They run into this large army or force that could easily wipe them out. They got tanks. They rolling around in freaking tanks, bruh. Like, this is not, they ain't playing. They ain't playing. And it's a lot of them. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about when I say she'll get everybody killed. Because
she ain't the only one. But she ain't the only one that felt that way. She's not the only one that felt that way. So how is it that because she's what?
You're not hearing me, brother?
I hear you.
It don't matter about how they feel. I'm talking about who made moves. I'm talking about the same ones that
they ain't do nothing.
What's stopping them from doing it again, Ty? What's stopping them from coming back to the town, taking somebody else, killing them, and leaving again?
They came there strictly for revenge.
They do what they came to do when they left.
They didn't have a meeting with everybody. Say, yo, look, y'all, we good. We just had to come kill this one motherfucker. We promise we ain't coming back. We Gucci. They don't know. They have no idea that they just came. They came, put old girl to sleep involuntarily, sat there and made the dude's daughter watch him die. And they're just supposed to be like, yeah, well, Joel did some fucked up shit anyway, so let's just let it go.
They could put two and two together, right? Because they only killed Joel, right? They didn't kill Dina. They had Dina hemmed up. They could have hurt her, but they just put her to sleep. Yeah, and she was awake for some of it to the point where she knew everybody's name. She knew what patch they had. She's an incredible artist, and she showed it off. Like, she saw enough to get enough information that if they were going to do something before Ellie got healed, they would have, right? Like, I totally agree with Bad Ty that Ellie is a psychopath, and she's doing dangerous things. She sits here and tries to tell Tommy about his own brother. Like, oh, if it was you, Joel would have been halfway to Seattle. And then he had to correct her and let her know, like, listen, Joel ain't as crazy as you. Joel would have only did that to save someone. Yeah. If there was people who were already done, he would have sat here and thought about the greater good and stopped trying to tell me about my brother, bitch. I mean...
Oh, yo! Word. Thank you, man. Yo, Michael, help me out, man. Like, you with me, right? Like, they can't just let somebody go.
Nobody's with you.
You're on an island by yourself, bro.
You Ellie right now.
From the moment you started, I was against you because you're like, oh, this episode was filler. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, people be throwing that term around.
There's no zombies. There's no infected. There was no action. There was no anything. And
not everything has to be action.
I feel like in this particular instance, they didn't really move forward because all right. You know what? I've learned because
they did move forward in the sense of like seeing Ellie in the closet, like mourning and crying over Joe. Like you needed that, especially as an audience member, and then as Ellie is the character, because that also goes to show she is a psycho, but she's still also a kid and still has a heart. So like seeing her break down in that moment over basically her father. Because we don't really know anything about her. We saw the flashback scene of her mother, but she's never met her mother. So Joel is really the only person that she has that's really a family member to her. So like seeing her break down in that moment, and then also even like seeing like the town and the voting, like getting to see the intricacies of that, the conversation that she had with Tommy, the conversation that she had with Dina, the conversation that they had in the tent, like all of that does further build these characters, because really for the most part from here on out, if they go the route of the video game, it is pretty much action, you know, from here on out. So like having another episode of like a quiet moment before the shit really hits the fan, because we saw when all those fucking wolves were walking with the tanks and all, you're just like, ah, shit, like it's about to go down. So like,
okay,
this episode was neat. Yeah, she cries at the end with the cemetery and the end of the video game, but what, she can only cry one time? Like,
this episode did a lot to move her. Like she didn't end, the episode didn't end where she started. She started in town crying in a hospital bed, and she ended in Seattle. Like she moved. And what I really liked about this episode is because it's starting to set the foundation of this beef between her and Abby, because she is literally a mirror of Abby. And I want to address what Only Morale is saying in the comments, because this is pivotal, because this is what's going to be the motivation for the rest of the series moving forward. Abby did to Ellie what Joel did to Abby. Her dad got killed, and now she's going on a revenge. What are you talking about? You can apply that to either one of them. And now we're going to see them go head to head. And I think we needed to see this emotional foundation from Ellie, especially because it's been so long since season 1, to help propel us through the rest of the season. Like this is what's, we're going to think back to these moments with Abby and Ellie as we go further along.
And when you think about like what ends up happening, like I'm not gonna go full spoilers, but like for those of you that played the game, like the whole concept, even go what you said, like this whole storyline is like an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So like literally y'all are doing the same shit, and ultimately, what is it gonna accomplish? What is it gonna accomplish? Nothing.
And see, I haven't even finished playing the video game yet. I started playing the video game after watching the series, and you know I'm still early, kind of in the process of playing it. But I mean, you don't even need a video game to kind of assess what's going to happen at this point. Like you everything it points in the direction and has pointed in the direction, which I see why the writers would show those moments with Ellie. Because Ellie would be one of those people that you would hate too. If you didn't show those moments where she's emotional and where she breaks down and where she's able to, you know, operate as what some would consider normal behavior, then she would also be a Joffrey type, you know, hate people.
Whoa!
I'm serious.
Ellie?
Like, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely, bro. Like, come on now, what's up with you? Like, yo, like
you're comparing Ellie to Joffrey?
I'm saying to you that she is a pariah. She is a problem. She is something that will cause everybody to die. Like, and it's so crazy because the duality of it is that she is the one person who could save everyone. Like literally, she could save everyone. Or flip side, she could be the reason everybody dies, and that's kind of where we're at with Ellie, and it's and where I've always been with Ellie. You heard me just a week ago talk about how much I hate Ellie, and then here we are. Her, you know, you have to feel for her in that moment because she just watched the guy that she treated like, because you got to delve into it, like the real emotion that's coming out of her. This is not so much sadness as it is regret. Like you got to understand her emotional like state. This girl is crying not because she felt like she, you know, like she lost Joel, but she's crying because she knows she wronged him and never will have a chance to apologize for it. She even said that. So it's one.
Yeah,
it's
the
one
last
of those
time she
things.
saw Joel, she just kept walking.
Exactly. So when you think of it from that standpoint, you know what's driving her. Like one who has an emotional capacity would look at that and be like, I understand why she has to go and avenge him. But the one lady who sees through all of the mask that people put up my weed lady, she is like, nah, this girl is, some people, you just gotta realize they're the bad apple that'll spoil the bunch, and you gotta take that bad apple and remove it before the whole bunch spoils. And that's why I said what I said. Her actions, these actions of going and finding the wolves, is putting everybody in the town at jeopardy, which is why the town voted against going. There is really a lot of shit that's going to come out of this, and I don't need to play a video game to see it. I already see it. I see it unfolding right before my eyes when I see the wolves in large numbers with tanks, with guns, with military training, and I'm like, ooh, this is not. And they killing kids. They are killing people. They just massacre people in the woods. At least that's what we're made to think. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm made to think that. So if that's the case, and they out here killing kids, and what you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with that?
Yeah. That's one thing I don't like. I don't like that they introduced the sound fights this early. Like,
what?
That's more of an Abby storyline, and we're not really getting into that until season 3.
Maybe.
Wait a minute.
Because they already said that so Last of Us, they said is going to do a season 2 and a season 3. So if you played the games, season 2 is going to be the first half of the game, and season 3 is going to be the second half of the game. So the first half of the game is Ellie. The second half is following Abby. And the sound fights really have to do with Abby's storyline. So I'm like, why are we introducing them right now? Like, we're not in this part.
Can I? Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I wanted to address this because Linda just posted. She said, we just supposed to let bygones be bygones. The wolves are monsters. This is where you have to think, and this is why, again, I feel like Ellie is such a bit. She's just gonna get everybody killed. It's not we should let bygones be bygones. We have to recoup and recover. We just lost most of our community to a monster overriding our walls. We still have to rebuild our town. We have to make sure people get healthy. We have to be in a position to go to war. War is easy to start, but it's hard to finish. And that's the whole thing. If you go into it unprepared, then they're going to wipe you out. They're going to literally wipe us out. And that was the whole thing. We don't know enough to just make a rash decision. There's too many people in this town for us to worry about to just take those unnecessary risks. And that's what I'm saying. It's never let bygones be bygones. And that's what Tommy was saying. It's not let bygones be bygones. It's let us get ourselves. We are not in a position. They wanted to send 16 people, and the town said no because that would be too much of a loss. You saw the wolves; they were well over 16 people. So if you're saying if they would have went out there and did it, they would have just got killed, and then they would have went back and tried to find where they came from and kill the rest of them. That's what I'm talking about. You got to think this through, and Ellie never thinks things through. She's the most impulsive person I've ever seen, and impulsivity in a post-apocalyptic world with monsters in it is the most dangerous thing you can be, and that's why Ellie is Ellie.
I like that, but I do want to just bring in the fact that Ellie wasn't just mad at Joel for no reason, right? Like, she wasn't just like, yo, fuck this dude. Like, she knew that Joel was being dishonest and she didn't know why. I mean, obviously from situational irony, we know why. But all she knows is that the dude that she trusts the most is lying to her outright and refuses to be open with her about it. And they're supposed to be ride or die, you and me, to the end of the earth, and you are lying to me. And he's upset about it, and he will do everything but tell me the truth. And we know why. So before you tell me, oh, well, obviously he was, yeah, we know. And he was doing the right thing, because if he tells her, who knows how the fuck she gonna react. But That was why. And so she wasn't just being an asshole to him. She was upset because she was dealing with somebody who she thought was one way and she learned was a different way. That very last scene in the first season where she says, just tell me the truth. Just swear to me that you telling me the truth. And she looked him in his eye and knew he was lying. He changed in her mind at that point. She was like, I don't know this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Who is this dude? You know what I mean? And so I got to move a certain way. So yes, you're right. Remorse because she didn't give him the grace that she probably couldn't have, but don't try to act like she was just an asshole and a bitch to him for no reason whatsoever. Like, as far as she knows, she was about to be the savior in 1 minute, and next thing you know, she's being dragged away and has no idea why. And the only guy who does know refuses to tell her. So just throwing that in there real quick. But I will say this. Somebody, I saw a comment, I don't know who said this. Somebody said something about how Abby was depicted. Yeah, somebody, first, Abby ain't nothing to F with. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was waiting to see how they did Abby in this, because Abby comes back a lot stronger when she actually when she did her thing with Joel. In fact, some would say maybe even a little too strong. I don't think too strong is the thing. But what we ain't gonna see is Abby looking like this in the actual real live action Max version for whatever reason, and I don't know why that is. I mean, because when you're playing the game and they do that time jump, you jump forward and then, you know what I'm saying, and Abby comes up like this, it's like, you know what I'm saying, where's Rachel? You know what I'm saying, type shit. So I was like, all right, man, I hope we get to see that in the game, but we're not going to. So, man, we'll see what happens if she's on her regiment, if she got the creatine, got some of that jerks. And
I guess that just goes to show the like difficulty sometimes in translating like a video game to live action, because you could probably find someone that looks like Abby, but can they act?
Right. That part, and that's something that goes across a lot of spectrums too. Like you can say that about some of the Black Panther, some of the Wiccan stuff, and all that other stuff. But who knows? I just can't wait to see whether or not they're going to give us this character or not.